For this problem, we need to find the center and the radius of the circle whose equation is this. So what our goal is we want to get this in the form x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, where h and k would be the center of the circle and r would be the radius of the circle. Okay? So basically what we're going to be doing is completing the square twice. So we're going to be completing the square with the x parts and then the y parts. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do, let's go ahead and get this 13 on the other side, and then we'll kind of rewrite this. So we have x squared minus 3x. Let's give ourselves a little spot. And then we have equals negative 13. We'll also have that plus blank. I'm going to grab another color for the red. So plus y squared, for the y's, I'm going to grab red for the y's, plus 10y plus blank, and then we're going to do another plus blank over here. So we're really just completing the square twice. So let's see, we need half of negative 3. So negative 3 and then squared. So we'll get a positive 9/4. If we multiplied these fractions together, it'd be 3 halves times 3 halves. So positive 9/4. And make this a positive 9/4. Okay, make sure that looks like a 4 there. Okay, here we want half of 10 and then squared. So 10 over 2 is 5 squared, gives us 25. So now let's add all of these together, factor on the left. So we know it's always going to factor to whatever half of the middle number is. So here we're going to have x minus 3 halves squared plus y plus 5 squared equals, so we can do negative 13 plus 25, I know gives me 12, and then plus 9/4. So let's go ahead and put those together. I'll take that separate. Let's go ahead and get a common denominator. So we can do 4 in this case, multiply the top and the bottom by 4. So we'll have 48/4 plus 9/4. So that will give us 57/4. So we now have x minus 3 halves squared plus y plus 5 squared equals 57/4. So you could also put that as a decimal because it doesn't say in this problem if it should be a decimal or a whole number. And so we also could put that as 14.25. Because it doesn't say, does it want you to do the decimal? Does it want you to do the fraction? So it doesn't matter, you would get full credit for either one. So now we need to find the center and the radius. So the center is just going to be the opposite of each of these because notice it's minus h, and so the h is really just this part right here, or the opposite in this case. And so it'd have to be minus and negative 5. So it'd be 3 halves and negative 5 for the center. And then for the radius, we just need to do the square root of 14.25. And so we would get 3.77. Now maybe it does specify, maybe you have a problem that specifies that it needs to be written as an exact answer, which would mean typically you don't do it as a fraction. So what we could do is do the square root of 57/4. Let me back up just to make sure we're on the same page. Notice it's r squared in the equation, and so we need to find the radius. We need to do, if this is r squared, to find r, we need to square root both sides. So that's why we got 3.77. So if we had to have an exact answer and leave it under a radical, what we could do is separate this to square root of 57 over square root of 4. We know we can't have a radical in the denominator, so we could do square root of 4 for the denominator and end up with just square root of 57 over 2. In this case, though, where it doesn't specify, I would probably leave it as a decimal, especially because it's easier to graph that way. Let me know if you have any further questions.